Hi friends, I want to talk about my new reading setup that I just gathered and implemented until a couple of days ago, about less than a week since I got this new setup. And it's really interesting in my opinion because this setup, I did not think it was going to be this great. And it's been an alternative that I've been looking for the past 6 years. I've been reading for about 6 years. And it's a really good setup in my opinion. And I think it's really useful. It's very modular. So I want to talk about it. So there are a few apps that is used in this setup, but actually there's only three. The first one is koreader. The second is calibre, which I've been using, but I did not know it was this powerful. And the third one is a new app. It's probably not that old, called Manatan. So the first component is koreader. If you don't know what koreader is, it's essentially an e-reader first reading software that is primarily built for an e-reader. And I just bought an e-reader like 2 weeks ago, probably a Books Leaf 3 from China, and it's I did not know that reading could be this fun because of my new e-reader. I've been reading for like hours every single day right now, and it's been amazing. Like I've been reading for 6 years on my phone, which is just like only 6-inch screen, and this has a 7-inch diagonally, which is actually not 1 inch more than 6 inch, like 30% more, which is really interesting. So this is what it looks like, and I can show you actually what co-reader looks like. I've been currently reading The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. This is what it looks like. So it has I'm using a custom build, a plugin for the UI because the original UI for co-reader sucks really bad. So I had to have a lot of modifications to make it work to my liking. The second app is called Calibre, and I've been using Calibre for a very long time, probably since I started reading in Korean, which I've been doing since like late 2020, probably like early 2021. Calibre is actually pronounced caliber, even though it's written BRECALIBRE. Like you would assume it's pronounced as calibre, but it's actually caliber for some reason. It's a really good app. I used it for the past like 3 days. I have over 800, almost 900 books on my library that I've kept since like November of 2019. Almost all of it are EPUBs. And over the years, all those files, they have really bad metadata, they don't have a cover, or both, and the file name is like really ugly. And so I used Calibre to fix all of that. It was really easy, it was straightforward, and so many plugins that helps you to do that. And then once I do that, I just like poured it into the e-reader, and I synced everything using SyncThing. If you don't know what SyncThing is, it's like it's a peer-to-peer synchronization software utility. Technically, it doesn't need a GUI, but you could use it. I use the one that has a GUI, and it syncs everything from within my phone, the e-reader, this one that I'm using to record, and my computer. And it has worked really well because co-reader also has everything inside one folder, the settings. And it's all also written in Lua, by the way, which is very accessible. I did not expect that. Like, so many people have made so much patches and plugins in the co-reader ecosystem, and the reason why they can do that is because everything is written down in Lua. So the third app is Manatan, and Manatan is spelled MANATAN. It's a relatively new app. It's built with Electron, I think, and it basically combines previous utility and scripts that has existed in the Japanese learning community and package it into one. So you can read novel, read manga, or like this comics, webtoon stuff, and you can even watch videos, I believe, in one app, which is insane. And they also make it more universal so that it supports not just Japanese but many other languages where the support are there. And the most important part is that they also integrate yomitan, which is this pop-up dictionary that I've been using to with just one click you can see the definition of the word, and that changes the game. It lowers the friction because I remember I used to even in Calibre, my previous setup for reading Korean was that I use Calibre and I can only read on the desktop, on my PC, because it is so tedious to do it on my phone, because you have to copy the word and then you have to open Naver Dictionary, which is the Oxford Dictionary equivalent for Korean, and then I have to wait it to load, and then I have to click it and paste it, and I have to click enter, and then once I read the definition, I have to go back reading it. And imagine, even if it's just 2 words per page, each one of them probably takes you like 15 to 18 to 20 seconds. You can't substitute this. I tried to find as much substitute as I can. I can't find it. And even the support for yomitan, which is right now is universal, by the way. Before that, until like I think early 2025 or late 2025, the previous developer stopped maintaining the project, and then someone took over. Even before that, there were no dictionary for Korean. And so, if you don't understand, like, Korean is a agglutinative language, which means that you add things into the ending of the base root, like, of the word. So basically, if there is no yomitan and you don't speak the language, I mean, I know the dictionary form instantly when I see a word of it because I'm used to reading Korean. But for someone who's starting out, you need that feature, because you cannot deconjugate the word and then find the dictionary form. It's not like in English where you can just put it into dictionary and it works immediately. In Korean, if you're not used to it, you can't differentiate what's like the word. And yomitan really helps doing that. And it doesn't exist before the current version of yomitan until like maybe a year or a year and a half ago. And it certainly does not exist in mobile form. And so the solution before this was that in Calibre, I had to copy it. I had to have 2 windows open, the dictionary from Naver on a smaller window, and I have to use a power, like a script to make it always on top on Windows, and then I just go back and forth. That's the first setup. I used that for like 2 years when I started learning Korean, and then after that I use something called Redis. Well, before that there was something called TTSU. That's what the Japanese people are using. If you're learning an Asian language, the best support right now, number 1 is Japanese, number 2 is Chinese, number 3 is Korean. And I did not expect the Chinese to have actually that much support. It's actually much bigger because there's so much heritage speakers of Chinese. Overseas Chinese are learning Chinese again, so that's why they have much more support. Maybe on par, Chinese Korean is probably somewhat on par, but like Chinese is a bit here, and then Korean is like down here, but Japanese is like way up there because there's just way more people who have studied the language and are nerds who can code, and so they have so much more support. And so I used to have to put my EPUB files into a website, and then I can't use yomitan, and so until someone ported the dictionary, they scrapped the entirety of the Korean National Dictionary, and then they put it into one, and then they make it compatible, and then there's now manatan. In manatan, I can show you actually what it looks like. It basically is just a wrapper. It's like it also allows you to make instant Anki card, which is amazing. I'm currently reading a book called Allah. It means comfort, by I don't even know the author. So for example, you can't see it. Can you see it? There we go. So I can just click a word, and then it has the definition. There we go. So that's the definition. Like just one click. Do you know how insanely good this is? You know how revolutionary this is to be able to do this instantly with the correct conjugation, and I use the actual monolingual dictionary. Like, this is insane. Like, I would have traded a limb to be able to have this feature 6 years ago. I would have read like 5 times more books because it was so tedious to learn Korean. Like, the only good support of a language was Japanese until like 2 years ago. So shout out to the community. I mean, I've been very active in the Discord server for Manatan and any other of these projects. And yeah, I mean, it's insane. Like, my reading setup right now is insanely good. Like, oh my god, look at that! Look at that! I could just click, and has a definition. I don't know if you could see that, bro. This is crazy. Anyway, so those are the 3 apps that I'm using. There's another website, what app you could call it, web app, that I have been also really into. Well, there are 2. The first one is Hardcover, It's an alternative of Goodreads. It's so much better than Goodreads. Has a much better UI UX experience. Has a very active community. It's very developer focused. You could use the API. It's well documented, and it's also integrated with my koreader, so that now every time I read a new book, or finish a book, or I could just put the review of the book and the rating inside koreader, and it would sync immediately into hardcover. So it's like an automated Goodreads. You can tell that the app is made by people with the intention of like, we're also readers. It's like reader tracking app built by readers, which is really, really good. Yeah, I've been loving it, and I have only put one book in here. Sorry, like 7 books probably. I'll port my library later. I've been only using it for like a week. I've discovered all of this in the past 1 week, so it's also new to me. And then another website, which I have known for quite a while, I just didn't open it again, is learnnatively.com. This is like Goodreads, like hardcover, but for language learning. It currently supports Japanese, Spanish, German, and Korean. And in here, my plan is, fingers crossed, I'm gonna track all my reading in here. And yeah, I've also gotten the book that I showed earlier. I got the recommendations from this website, so yeah, it's been fun reading. And yeah, that's all I have to say for this video. And the dictionaries are from GitHub. You can go to the yomitan dictionaries for Korean if you're learning Korean, but it also has the official dictionary list that is frequently updated in the GitHub. Yeah, that's all I have to say. See you in the next video.